Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're doing good. I forgot what I was going to say then. Wow, how all good. Hope you guys are all doing well. This is part 2 of my ridiculously large book haul. This is all the books that I bought while I was in America. So if you haven't seen part 1, I will leave it linked in the cards for you. That was all the books I ordered to get back to the UK, or to come home to in the UK rather, and that was like 13 books. That was a lot. We have like 16 or 18, I can't remember how many it was when I last counted. They're all the books I bought while in America and had to figure out how to get home with me, which was fun. It's great. So that's what we're going to be looking at now. Some of these you will have already seen snippets of in other videos and stuff like that, but yeah, this is just consolidated all into one with a few extra ones that you guys won't have seen yet that I picked up along the way. So without further ado, no rambling, we're just going to get straight on into it. The first book I actually don't have with me anymore. I left it in America because I was going to unhaul it anyway. At some point I liked it, but I didn't love it. I wasn't obsessed by it, and now with books like that I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to hang on to every single book I buy any longer. If I know that I'm never going to read it again, if I know that nobody around me is going to read it or like it, I will donate it to a charity shop or give it to a friend or whatever. So that one was Rush by Maya Banks. I will try and insert a picture somewhere, which was book 1 in, I can't remember what her trilogy is called, but essentially it's a trilogy about 3 billionaire guys in New York: Jace, Gabe and Ash. And this one was Gabe's book, which is the first in the series, and it was basically, the tropes were like brother's best friend, forbidden romance, touch when you die, that kind of stuff. Very 50 Shades reminiscent. Essentially Mia is Jace's little sister. He's super protective of her, and she turns up to a charity event that Jace is supposed to be at to surprise him, and he's not there, so she hangs out with Gabe instead, who she's known since she was like a kid. He's about 10 years older than her, 15 years older than her, and she's always had a crush on him, and he kind of like starts to act on his crush on her, but they don't have a normal relationship. He makes her sign a contract, and it's very like kind of dom sub vibes. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. It was just very, very average. There were some scenes in it that made me feel very uncomfortable, which I just really didn't like. And yeah, I don't know, it wasn't the best, and I thought, you know what, like I'm not going to keep this, and I don't think anybody else I know is going to enjoy this, so I just left it because my case was so overweight and I wanted to take a bit of the weight off. So that was that. I then picked up Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. You guys know what this book is about, so I'm not going to kind of do a huge spiel on this one. It's all over TikTok at the moment, all over Bookstagram, all over everywhere. It's having a resurgence, and I'm excited to read it. I'm really looking forward to reading it. Then we have Beautiful Little Fools by Gillian Cantor. This one I picked up on a whim. It's lovely. It has deckled edges, which I'm a big fan of. So if you know me, you will know that The Great Gatsby is my favourite book of all time. For my 30th birthday, my best friends all clubbed together to buy me a first edition copy of it, which was just, honestly, still makes me want to cry. I opened that, I was in America for my birthday, and I opened that and just like sobbed. It was like the most incredible present. Beautiful Little Fools puts like an interesting spin on the end of Gatsby. So if you've read Gatsby, you know how it ends and you know who's responsible for it. This book, however, it expands on Gatsby, and it kind of plays around the idea of the women taking a more central role in the story than they did, because obviously Gatsby is narrated by a male character. It's heavily focused on Gatsby, who is in himself male, and due to the time it was written as well, you know, we were talking like back in a very, even though we're still in a patriarchal society, very much more patriarchal back then. You know, women didn't have as many rights as they do currently. Women weren't kind of as free as we are now, and I'm saying that knowing that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. So this is written from a feminist or a feminine angle. So I'm going to read you the synopsis. On a sultry August day in 1922, Jay Gatsby, oh actually hang on, before I read the synopsis I should say this is going to give spoilers for the end of Gatsby, so if you do want to read Gatsby and you don't want to get spoiled, just zip on to the next book. Anyway, on a sultry August day in 1922, Jay Gatsby is shot dead in his West Egg swimming pool. To the police it seems to be an open and shut case of murder-suicide when the body of George Wilson, a local mechanic, is found in the woods nearby. Then a diamond hairpin is discovered in the bushes by the pool, and 3 women fall under suspicion. Each holds a key that can unlock the truth to the mysterious life and death of this enigmatic billionaire. Daisy Buchanan once thought she might marry Gatsby before her family was torn apart by an unspeakable tragedy that sent her into the arms of the philandering Tom Buchanan. Jordan Baker, Daisy's best friend, guards a secret that derailed her promising golf career and threatens to ruin her relationship with Daisy as well. Catherine McCoy, a suffragette, fights for women's freedom and independence, and especially for her sister Myrtle Wilson, who's trapped in a terrible marriage. So Myrtle is George's wife. I think. I can't remember actually. Their stories unfold in the years leading up to that fateful summer of 1922 when all three of their lives are on the brink of unravelling. Each woman is pulled deeper into Jay Gatsby's romantic obsession with devastating consequences for all of them. Gillian Cantor revisits the glittering jazz age world of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, retelling this timeless American classic from a woman's perspective. Beautiful Little Fools is a quintessential tale of money and power, marriage, friendship, love and desire, and ultimately the murder of a man tormented by the past and driven by a destructive longing that can never be fulfilled. And I just thought it sounded very interesting. I'm very excited to expand on Gatsby and kind of see how it can be reimagined from a woman's perspective, with women taking the central role of the story rather than being kind of the side characters and the narrative aids to kind of push the story forward. So anyway, yes, that is Beautiful Little Fools. I am very excited for that one. On a similar vein, we also have The Chosen and the Beautiful, which is again like kind of a fantasy spin on Gatsby actually. R.F. Kuang blurbed it as Gatsby the way it should have been written, dark, dazzling and fantastical. And the synopsis for this one says, immigrant, socialite, magician. Jordan Baker, so yeah, grows up in the most rarefied circles of 1920s American society. She has money, education, a killer golf handicap, and invitations to some of the most exclusive parties of the jazz age. She's also queer and Asian, a Vietnamese adoptee treated as an exotic attraction by her peers, while the most important doors remain closed to her. But the world is full of wonders, infernal pacts and dazzling illusions, lost ghosts and elemental mysteries. In all paper is fire, and Jordan can burn the cut paper heart out of a man. She just has to learn how. Naivo, I think I've pronounced that right, Naivo. Naivo's debut novel, The Chosen and the Beautiful, reinvents this classic of the American canon as a coming-of-age story full of magic, mystery and glittering excess, and introduces a major new literary voice. So yes, I'm very, very excited by this. And again, especially as this confronts kind of, I guess, the racial prejudices as well that we definitely see in Gatsby. You know, if you read Gatsby from a contemporary viewpoint, it is very problematic. Like, there's no kind of two ways about it. You can't read that book and be okay, you know, from a contemporary lens. You can't be okay with 90% of the contents and also a lot of the vocabulary that is used. This is going to be very interesting to read basically, because it's going to add, this adds the feminist lens to Gatsby. This adds both the feminist lens but also kind of a different angle on kind of like racial structures and stuff. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to read these. In fact, actually, strike of inspiration, let me know if you guys would like me to do a video where I read Gatsby, Beautiful Little Fools and The Chosen and the Beautiful and kind of deconstruct the original versus these two kind of contemporary reworkings of the classic. I think that could be very interesting. So yes, let me know if that is something that you would like to see. This book needs no introduction. This is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, the queen of the rom-com, the queen of contemporary romance. This is Nora Stevens, who is, I believe, a book editor, and she gets taken away on a weekend away with her sister where she meets one of her kind of colleagues, I suppose, a fellow agent, and I think they must fall in love over books. I know very little about that one, but I wanted to pick it up because I really loved, I haven't read People We Meet on Vacation, but I loved the first one. Was it Beach Read? Really enjoyed Beach Read, so yeah. Then I picked up The Troop by Nick Cutter. I've been wanting to read this for quite some time, and I'm going to suggest that my friend Tori picks it up as well because she loves a horror, and I think we're going to buddy read this one. This I've heard is absolutely horrific. I heard this has got a lot of body horror in it, and it's actually truly a very uncomfortable read, which makes me even more excited to read it. I'm wanting to read more spooky books and thrillers and stuff in the autumn, so yeah, this one's going to be good. So this is once a year, Scoutmaster Tim Riggs leads a group of boys into the Canadian wilderness for a weekend camping trip. A tradition as comforting and reliable as a good ghost story around a roaring bonfire. But when an unexpected intruder stumbles upon their campsite, shockingly thin, disturbingly pale and voraciously hungry, Tim and the boys are exposed to something far more frightening than any tale of terror. The human carrier of a bioengineered nightmare, a horror that spreads faster than fear, a harrowing struggle for survival with no escape from the elements, the infected, or one another. I believe that the bioengineered whatever virus, I don't know, parasite, I don't know what it is, I believe it makes the person, the host, cannibal. So I think that's where kind of the horror comes in. I feel like this initial like infected person begins to eat the scouts and they then in turn become affected. I'm not 100% certain on that one though, but apparently it's a deeply disturbing novel. So yeah, I'm excited. Stephen King, The Troop scared the hell out of me and I couldn't put it down. This is old school horror at its best. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm nervous for that one, but I'm excited. And then this is another buddy read for me and Tori. This is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. We love Grady Hendrix, so we tend to kind of buddy read all of his books. So I read a couple before I met Tori. I recommended that she read My Best Friend's Exorcism, which she loved and became obsessed with. Then she did the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which she loved. And then we both buddy read We Sold Our Souls together, which neither of us were as enamoured by. I also read Final Girls Support Group before I met Tori, so she's now going to be reading that, and then we're going to read this one together. We're also excited because My Best Friend's Exorcism is being made into a movie, so that's going to be great. I think that comes out next month. So yeah, big fans of Grady Hendrix. And he's also got a new book coming out, Haunted House book. Very excited. Love a haunted house. Anyway, this one I was very, very excited to get, and I specifically wanted to try and get the American hardback edition because it is beautiful, and I did, and that is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melors. So this, from what I understand, it's a slight age gap between the two main characters. She is, I think, an art student in New York. Her student visa's running out and she needs to stay in America. He is an American, and I think he marries her to get her visa, green card, whatever. And I think then it becomes like a discussion on love and relationships and everything else, like in your 20s, I think. It's supposed to be very good. It's more like literary fiction than romance. It's supposed to be very kind of thought-provoking as well. So I think their relationship is not the healthiest, if you catch my drift. So yeah. Then we have one that I picked up on a whim. This is Palm Beach by Mary Adkins. The reason I picked this up, because I spent all summer in Palm Beach and it's my favourite place on the planet. So yeah, I just wanted to pick this up mostly so that now that I'm back in the UK I can get a slice of Palm Beach before I go back early next year. But this one, Rebecca and her husband Mickey are struggling 30-somethings sharing a tiny New York apartment with their beloved baby son. Everything changes when Mickey's offered a sweet deal managing the household of a multimillionaire Democratic donor in sunny Palm Beach. They barely unpack their bags when Mickey is approached by venture capitalist Cecile Stone with a rival offer doubling his salary. Rebecca, a writer whose beat is economic inequality, is horrified. She pillories ruthless businessmen like Stone. But after Mickey can't resist the lure of financial security and takes it, they're both surprised to see Rebecca growing close to Cecile's wife. The moment a crisis hits, it's the Stones who come to Rebecca and Mickey's rescue, and they find themselves increasingly anxiously dependent on their problematic benefactors. But all is not what it seems in this Forbes list household when Rebecca discovers a shocking secret about the Stones that she will have to decide how many compromises she's willing to make. Exploring the painful divide between the haves and the have-nots and the seductive lure of extreme wealth, Palm Beach offers both a sensitive family portrait and a scorching take on power, status and deception. For anyone who doesn't know, Palm Beach is where Trump has Mar-a-Lago. It is where Epstein lived. It is home to some of the most beautiful yet ridiculously oversized houses I have ever seen, and it is just a hub of extreme wealth. So yes, also that's Palm Beach Island specifically. I don't stay on the island because I do not fall into that demographic, but I do like to drive around the island and see such homes because they're very pretty. Anyway, on to the next book. Okay, so my battery's starting to flash, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit quicker with these. Some of these got a little bit battered on my journey home, which I'm a little bit sad about, but there was nothing I could do, unfortunately, so it is what it is. We have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I feel like this needs zero introduction, so I'm not gonna give it one. And it's like second chance romance. Everyone is obsessed. We also have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I just picked this one up on a whim because it had just been released and I thought I wanted the US paperback, so I like the feel of it more than the UK one. That's literally as deep as it goes. So Love on the Brain. We also have My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, which again I feel like needs no introduction right now. True crime obsessed girl goes on holiday, finds body in Airbnb. Bounty hunter comes to investigate. They end up investigating together and I believe they fall in love. This has got mixed reviews, so I'm a little nervous to give it a go. It seems that a lot of people have said it's more spice than plot, but you know what, I don't mind some spice. Quite like the spice, so we'll see. This one also got a little battered on the way home, which I'm sad about, but this is The Witches by Stacey Schiff. This is a non-fiction kind of, well, I say it's non-fiction. It's written like fiction, but it is technically non-fiction. I'm really sad that this got beaten up. That's so annoying. And this is a portrayal of witchcraft in America in the 1600s, specifically in Salem, Massachusetts, and kind of how it all unraveled and everything else. Like I said, I bought this for research purposes, but I am also really excited to read it because I find witches fascinating. Then we have In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is often compared to If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This one's by Ashley Winstead, and it is set, I think, 10 years after graduation, 6 friends, 1 college reunion, and 1 unsolved murder. So excited for that one. Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Core. This is a teeny tiny little novella, supposed to be very, very brutal, nasty, delicate and disgusting. So it's one night of food, drinks and games quickly spirals into a nightmare as secrets get dragged out and relationships are tested. The house has secrets too. Lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt, so that's very exciting. And finally, sorry again for having to whiz through these last ones, I just do not want my camera to die on me, we have 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. So this is set over lockdown in Ireland. 2 people met and fell for each other right before lockdown began, decided to take their relationship to the next level through lockdown, move in together. She ends up dead. Was this the opportunity for the perfect crime? So yeah. Anyway guys, quick ending there. Didn't really intend to have to rush this video, but there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, as always, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye guys.